You're listening to the Craft Messages That Matter podcast. My name is Theo Capodistrius, and I'm going to talk to you about all things communication, public speaking, TEDx, and all the things in between. These are going to be short episodes, and hopefully you'll gain a lot out of it. Sit back and enjoy today's episode. Hello and welcome to episode 9 of season 1 of the Craft Messages That Matter podcast. My name is Theo Capodistrius and I help professional service providers, business owners and entrepreneurs to speak up, show up and make an impact through their voice and through their words. I do this through a range of presentations, workshops and public speaking and communication coaching programs. I share a range of free content to help those who may be wanting to improve their communication and public speaking potential. Feel free to explore my website, www.theocap.com.au, and my social media for hot tips and tricks to get you going along the way. Alright, I do feel like before I get into the content, I need to apologize. I'm a little bit late again with this episode, and I've been making a few other things. I've been creating an online course, which I'll tell you about later in this episode, but it's been getting me very excited for the potential to help more people in a really low cost way for them. And for me, it's been exciting to download all of those thoughts I've had, and the opportunity to be able to help more people is just really exciting for me. But anyway, you'll hear more about that later in today's episode. But to today's topic, in current times of the Great Resignation, quiet quitting, quiet firing, and the rise of people standing up for their own beliefs, people are leaving their current workplaces and pursuing new opportunities. This is exciting, and it's an exciting opportunity to start afresh, do something new, and to get into something that you're really passionate about. Whatever the reason might be, you'll be coming across the inevitable public speaking and presentation opportunity, the job interview. Job interviews can be stressful. It can feel a little bit like you're being quizzed. You're feeling a level of discomfort, speaking to people you've probably never met, and feel the pressure that you'll need to impress them. Not to mention the absolute terror of being asked something that you may have no idea about. We've all been there. We know how horrific it can feel. In this episode, I want to work through some of the key steps to help you with a job interview. You might be thinking, Isn't this a podcast about communication, public speaking, and TEDx related stuff? And you'd be absolutely correct. But one thing we shouldn't forget is that all speaking is public speaking. Sitting in front of a panel of individuals who are assessing if you're the right fit to join a company is the perfect example of public speaking in practice. The tips which I share for preparing a presentation, communication tips for expressing your thoughts with clarity and conviction can all be applied to this scenario as well. So listen in, take some notes if you need to help you prepare for that next big role, and good luck if you are looking for something new. Why do we feel anxiety in a job interview situation? You might be thinking, why am I and others getting stressed about this? It's because you care. You're invested in the job, the additional money, the different lifestyle, and the new way of being. You really want it. But unfortunately, with that comes that feeling of anxiety and that stress. We need to first look at how do we deal with that anxiety. Being anxious and worried about an interview is completely normal. There can be a lot riding on this one conversation. So there are a few things that could be done to help reduce that anxious feeling. The first thing to do is to be incredibly prepared. Ensure you understand the core business of the employer. What is their product? What's their service? How well do you know it? Who are some of their major customers? Where do they operate? What's their global jurisdiction look like? It'll be important for you to understand the organization as best as you can. So make sure you research and understand the context of where you'll be potentially working to set yourself up for the best success. Do a bit of a Google research. read their annual report and find out about some of the company's achievements and some background so you can get a bigger picture of what you'll be jumping into. Part of the preparation process will also be to think of questions you might be asked. This way, if one of those questions pops up or a similar question, you'll be able to answer it in the best way possible. You might be thinking, well, how can I answer a question to impress? There's a method commonly used called the STAR technique. STAR is an acronym: situation, task, action, result. The situation is the scenario you find yourself in. This is the relevant context and is really useful way to get things going. The task is what you need to be done and why. Action is the action you took, and the result describes the result in terms of the benefits realized. So, let's say, for example, you were asked a question, tell us about a time you had a conflict at work. Using the STAR technique, you could say, there was a disagreement between a colleague and I because we had differing opinions about a particular supplier. To keep our work environment professional and to remain positive as it had been previously, we needed to discuss the disagreement. I organised a time for us to both chat. I bought us a coffee and took steps to apologise and to present my perspective. He acknowledged my view and he presented his. Now we're able to work together regularly and are viewed as being a really collaborative and creative colleagues when we're on a project together. I may have mentioned this previously, but some of the keys to success in communication and for the ease of preparation is the need to have a structure that works for you. Once you know how to present the information, plugging in the details becomes relatively easy. Another technique which I teach for when delivering a presentation is to reframe your thinking around that actual opportunity, in this case, the interview. So let's simply think of it as a conversation, something that you do with others every single day. This helps you to rationalize that this is literally something that you do all the time, so it shouldn't feel as impossible to ace it or as scary as it could be. Ultimately, the feeling and anticipation of an interview will almost always be worse than the actual interview itself. You need to put yourself out there and position yourself for success. This is your time to get the job you want and to position yourself for success that you deserve. So if you're doubting yourself, don't. Prepare and go do it. You'll be awesome. Thank you for listening to this episode. Yep, I'm keeping it short and sharp, as you know. Be sure to subscribe, follow, rate and review the podcast, as it will help me greatly. I have a range of free downloads available, so go to my website, www.theocap.com.au, and check out the Ultimate Presentation Structure Guide. That's one of my new ones, and it'll help you to create a structure that works. If you want to practice or upskill in a virtual meeting, a real-life meeting, or any kind of presentation, I run a service called Power Presentations AI. It combines coaching with me and artificial intelligence platform, which picks up on things such as filler words, non-inclusive language, pace, and all sorts of other fun things. So I'd love to be able to work with you on that. I also offer one-on-one coaching programs, such as my very popular 3-month coaching program. However, if you want a one-on-one session, let me know. And I mentioned earlier that I am about to release an online course. It's an online on-demand course, and you'll have 12 months to complete it. I'm going to keep the price relatively affordable, and it will cover so many things to help you in your public speaking and communication journey. Check the updates on all my social media and my mailing list so you can be up to date when it comes out. I can't wait for you to join. Feel free to follow me on all my social media channels, including the podcast social media channel at CMTM_podcast and my personal Instagram page, TheoCap88. And of course, feel free to find me on LinkedIn. Love this, love that you're listening, and can't wait to speak to you soon. Bye.